with the basketball. And college basketball is back. You're looking live at Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina, as the Furman Paladins open up the season inside Timmons Arena to take on the Crusaders of North Greenville. Welcome inside Timmons Arena. I'm Bryant Lambert alongside Faxon Childress. And Faxon, these two teams getting the season going, they're only about 15 minutes apart.
Very local battle here in the upstate of South Carolina, Bryant. Should be a good one this evening.
The Paladins, coming off a season of heartbreak a year ago, made it to the Southern Conference Finals, lost on a last-second shot. A new season, new year of hope, as you see Chad Lister, the head of the Crusaders, in his 21st season leading the team out of Tigerville. And Furman, led by Bob Ritchie in his 6th season, trying to lead the Paladins back to the NCAA tournament. Oh, so close a season ago. High expectations that he is embracing this year as the Paladins look to get to the big dance. Draylon Burton will lead things for the Crusaders tonight. The leading scorer, Faxon, from a season ago.
Leading scorer, 41% from three. You can see it right there. 19 points against Furman last year. Very capable of getting his shot off at this level and should be a key player for the Crusaders tonight.
For the Paladins, fifth-year senior Mike Bothwell comes off about 16 points a game a season ago. Every time they needed a big shot, Bothwell came up big.
And Bothwell so clutch in that heartbreaking SoCon game that you talked about, Bryant. Arguably the best player on the Paladins, poised for a big night tonight and a big fifth-year campaign here at Furman.
Furman loaded with talent as they are in the home whites, the road blacks for the Crusaders of North Greenville. The Taps controlled by North Greenville, and the 2022-2023 basketball season underway. Paladins dominant here inside Timmons Arena. A little bit of a revamped Timmons Arena that we'll get into a little later in the broadcast, as you see the North Greenville starting five, backdoor cut, reverse layup, up and in, and the Crusaders take an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, good motion action there from the Crusaders early, getting right into their offense, able to score the reverse layup off of it.
So many offensive options for the Paladins. Marcus Foster, somebody that's really coming to his own this season there, takes it easily down the lane.
And Bryant, under Bob Ritchie, you see players take that leap in year 3. This could be the year that Marcus Foster breaks onto the scene for the Paladins.
Both teams scoring on the opening possession. Baseline cut off by Heen. Back to the top of the key, three-pointer on the way, off the back iron. Rebound battled for, taken down by the Crusaders. Saw 4 players going back on defense to try to limit that Furman transition offense. Down the lane, Heen contest, loose ball underneath, tapped around and controlled by Pegues. Furman's a team that likes to get out and run that secondary break, oh so dangerous. Slauson in the corner, he'll launch a three-pointer, that's off the rim, and here comes North Greenville. 2-on-1 break all the way to the glass, laid up and in. There's Burton, and it's back to a 4-2 lead for North Greenville.
And if there's anyone that's going to keep North Greenville in this game and give them a chance to win, it's going to be Draylon Burton. Paladins got to hone in on stopping him.
See immediately the double team comes. Slauson passed up another look from downtown. Slauson, a season ago for the Paladins, 14.5 points a game, did shoot 30% from behind the arc. He'll let it fly again. That one a little off the mark. And tipped out to North Greenville. This Furman team, we talked about the home court dominance. Furman over the past 7 seasons, 84-14 overall record inside Timmons Arena, and how about a 49-7 lead mark? And tell you what, last 3 seasons, that just up to 33-3 and 18-2 respectively, Faxon. So not a tougher place to play in the Southern Conference than here inside Timmons Arena.
Yeah, Furman has been a buzzsaw, and defending home court so important for Bob Ritchie's squad. A great steal from behind right there to rob Mike Bothwell on the fast break.
Jamison hesitates and lays it off the glass, and it's a 4-point lead for North Greenville as Coach Ritchie slows down and will set up the offense for the Paladins.
Yeah, and Bothwell there just looking to put his head down in transition. This Paladin offense, we obviously know how prolific it is, returning so many good players. Just looking to get into their sets and stick to who they are here early, as we've seen a little bit of struggle in the first 3 minutes.
Bothwell from long range knocks it down. Mike Bothwell, we mentioned, led the team in scoring a season ago. Also was above 36% from long range. So Faxon, someone that can go downhill very quickly, but just as potently steps back beyond the arc.
Mike Bothwell is the textbook definition of a three-level scorer, and you see it right there. Steps up beyond the arc and hits it. And like you said, Bryant, still so good at getting downhill as you're going to see him try and do right here in transition.
Bothwell will stop, pop, looking for back-to-back threes. That's off the back iron, and North Greenville with the rebound. These two teams opening up the season as most of the rest of college basketball. We'll get around the Southern Conference. Paladins picked to win the league by both the coaches and the media, which is arguably one of the best mid-majors, if not the best mid-major league in college basketball. Facts in the Southern Conference trying to earn that respect. Watch out, Slauson's going to be fouled. It'll be 2 shots in line for the senior.
Yeah, and the Southern Conference definitely deserves that respect. I mean, look at the two teams that were playing in the championship game last year. Furman, by Ken Palm and other metrics, top 60 team in the country. That UTC, University of Tennessee Chattanooga team with Lamont Paris, who's moved on to South Carolina now, had Malachi Smith, one conference player of the year, ended up going on to Gonzaga, and so much other talent, including the Kansas transfer to Sousa. So this league has great teams year in, year out, and it's looking to be poised for more of that this year, Brandon. For
the first time in his Furman career, we'll see the 6'7" freshman out of Elmhurst, Illinois. Bid Vanderwall checks in as Garrett Heen checks out. Vanderwall, a player by all respects, I don't want to say a surprise to staff. They knew how talented he was doing a recruit, but he's come in and he's earned himself the ability to check in less than 4 minutes into the fresh campaign. And Coach Ritchie saying he's really too talented and plays too hard to keep off the court.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a Furman squad, having depth is really what's going to put them over the top and keep them in contention as March comes along. Depth is so valuable in a conference like the SoCon.
Skip passing into the lane through the hands of Rogers. Furman 1-point lead. Looking to extend. Pegues, long three-pointer on the way, and that's off the front of the rim. Tipped around into the hands of North Greenville. Early rebounding advantage, now 4 apiece.
It'll be interesting to see J.P. Pegues' progression as a three-point shooter. Obviously, he's replacing Alex Hunter at the 1, the all-time leading three-point scorer for the Furman Paladins. So big shoes to fill for Pegues.
Off the back of the backboard, it'll be Furman basketball when we come back. Just over 4 minutes of action going inside Timmons Arena. The Paladins with the early 1-point lead over North Greenville.
When you buy a diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly can be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up and education has received in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
These are the student athletes. This is where they battle. These are their home. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. This is where titles are forever. This is the Southern Conference.
These two teams not far away from each other. North Greenville just in Tigerville, South Carolina, about 14 miles apart, 20-minute drive, and a pretty scenic drive at that, Faxon.
Yeah, Brian, I think both of us had a longer drive to get to Timmons Arena here today than the North Greenville basketball team. So very local matchup as you're seeing with the graphic right here, and definitely some bragging rights on the line here in Timmons Arena.
And a lot of connections between these two programs. Obviously, Rhett Lister, who was a Paladin senior. His father, Chad Lister, is the coach of North Greenville, who happens to be a 1995 graduate of Furman. And how about Coach Ritchie and his wife, graduates of North Greenville? So a lot of overlap between these two institutions, as we saw, not too far apart. Paladins with the 1-point lead with the basketball. Nice play underneath to Slauson. And in fact, it's something to watch. Furman's going to get the open looks from three. They're going to be patient enough to get it down low, and a perfect job by Slauson.
And that is a beautiful set play drawn up by Ritchie coming out of the timeout right there. Furman gets into their concepts with the recent substitutions and gets their best player an open look with Jalen Slauson underneath, and he makes it back.
There's Caleb Williams responding, and Terrence Oglesby, the former Clemson player, also does a lot of Furman games. He always talks about the ATOs, after timeout plays. Coach Ritchie one of the best at drawing up successes after the timeout, and now it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Paladins will stay with North Greenville. Even 15 minutes on the clock. Both teams shooting near 40% here in the first 5 minutes. Daniel Clark, Evan Berg, Michael Colin, your officials here this evening as the Paladins steal the inbounds. Quickly going the other way, Joe Anderson will dip it to the corner. One more. There's Carter Witt off the mark. Witt, the transfer from Wake Forest. So everywhere you look, a lot of existing pieces. Faxon, as you take a look at that foul, they called Slauson on the push from behind, but a lot of new contributors that Coach Ritchie says, hey, you're not really rebuilding, you're reloading, and you can kind of see that. You lose Alex Hunter and some key contributors, and you just replace.
Yeah, and it's just such a good job by this Furman staff and Bob Ritchie for delving into the portal and finding talent when it's available. Carter Witt has a chance to be a big contributor for this team, and to have Pegues coming into year 2 and Carter Witt coming from Wake Forest, couldn't ask for a better way to replace Alex Hunter.
Set three-pointer from the corner on the way. That's off the back iron. Furman now just 1 of 7 from long range here in the early going. Furman potent from long range a season ago, 38% from beyond the arc. A team that Coach Ritchie said, hey, keep shooting. He knows we got good shooters. They'll fall as the games progress. Backdoor cut, good defense by Slauson. Fortunate the air ball rebound taken down by Vanderwall.
And great job of impacting that shot by Slauson without fouling.
Witt loses it. Taken down by Jamison. Back and forth we go. That's just the second Paladin turnover here in the first 7 minutes. Furman, primarily man-to-man team, will go to zone when the opportunity presents itself. Heavy pressure. That will be a blocking foul along the baseline. This will be the first on the freshman. Thought he might have gotten there in time. As you take another look, Faxon bang call.
Yeah, I think the correct call made right there on Ben Vanderwall. He's a little bit late to the spot and still sliding. Is outside of that restricted arc, but not enough to get the charge call. Good call by our officials here. That is a block.
Slauson takes a seat. You can see Tyrese Huey into the game for the Paladins. Huey's redshirt sophomore at Columbus, Ohio. Another big body, 6'6", 220. Somebody talking about our strength and conditioning coach. Somebody's put on pounds, and good pounds in the strength. A nice pass to the corner, three-pointer on the way, off the mark. Offensive rebound, Garrett Heen, and he gets the friendly roll. The Paladins up 3.
Yeah, Heen on the board for the first time in the 2022 season. An underrated role player for this Paladin squad. Starts at the 5, but you can see that he's pretty versatile as a big man and definitely very skilled.
And there's an offensive foul. Who else? Vanderwall, who was just called for the block, takes the charge. And that's something this Furman staff said. Plays hard, right space, right time. You know, reminds me of someone named Matt Rafferty, who just always seemed to be at the right spot.
Yeah, and if you're gaining Bob Ritchie's trust as a freshman, you're definitely doing things correct. You see it right there. Ben Vanderwall steps in and takes the charge and gives a very emphatic let's go at the Furman bench. Love the energy from this freshman here tonight already.
Paladin is with the basketball and this three-point advantage. 3 turnovers for North Greenville in the last 2 minutes. Furman defense ratcheting up. Nice pass down low to Huey. Count it. And a chance for a three-point play. How about that pass?
What a great pass right there on the pick and roll to find Huey. And great hands by Huey to be able to corral that ball, put it up with touch, and gets the friendly roll with the toilet bowl. Has a chance to make it a three-point play.
Huey goes to the line to try to complete it, push the Furman lead to would be the largest here in the first 7 minutes, and he does. This Furman team we talked about picked to win the Southern Conference preseason, also ranked 6th in the preseason College Insider poll. Big one Friday night. Belmont, who's also in that top 25, will come to Timmons Arena. So, tell you what, this schedule we'll get into, a very challenging Paladin schedule, and then they head down for that tournament down in Charleston. They'll be on the ESPN family of networks, the Shriners Children's Charleston Classic, where they'll open up with Penn State. So, tell you what, Faxon Furman thinks they play well, will be able to control things tonight as they turn it over. But the schedule gets tough very quick as quickly in transition, the floaters dropped in by Brown and back to just a 4-point game.
Yeah, and Bob Ritchie and the Paladins do not duck smoke from anybody. We've seen them beat Louisville in the past couple of seasons. We've seen them beat Villanova, who was coming off a national championship. This Furman team knows they can compete with the big dogs, and they're not afraid of that when scheduling out-of-conference opponents.
Three-pointer on the way, well off the mark. Offensive rebound taken down by Hewitt. who can't get the fall, and it's out of bounds. Furman basketball. You saw Coach Ritchie yelling at his team, drive the basketball. Furman now 1 of 8 downtown, but Jackson, where's that balance of if you can get open looks, but try to get it into the paint? So far, Furman with 8 points in the paint.
It definitely is about finding that perfect balance, and if there were any flaws to this Paladin squad last year, they did get a little bit three-point heavy at the time. Everyone wants to knock down the three-point shot, and this Paladin squad definitely has players that are more than capable and can make you pay. But as you said, Bryant, the balance is really key in basketball, you know, proving that you can beat teams in multiple ways, and this Paladin squad has some versatile players, can't get too three-point happy, though.
Here's Pegues baseline. He sends it over to Bothwell. It's out of bounds. It'll be a turnover. And Crusader basketball when we come back. 11:46 to go in the opening half. Furman up 4 here inside Timmons Arena.
You fired up the grill for 1 hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dog. It's better with Pepsi. This is no sleepy-headed and moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
When you buy Diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly could be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We've put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the do.
Bryant Lambert, Faxon Childress back with you inside Timmons Arena. Paladins up 14-10. A little sloppy here in the early going. 5th all-time meeting. Furman 4-0 all-time. These two teams met a season ago. A resounding win for the Paladins. This is a nice little, we talked about how close they were. A local flair, good turnout here inside Timmons Arena. A place that Furman routinely packs in, but for a non-conference early season game, quite a crowd here for the opener.
Yeah, very good crowd. Lots of energy here from this Paladin crowd. But North Greenville really hanging in this one. 9 minutes in here, and they're only down 2. They had only made 1 of their last 7 prior to that, so only 2 of their last 8, and Furman not really able to pull away yet.
Dean trying to get it down low to Slauson. Double team comes. Nice move off the glass. Jalen Slauson now with the game high 6 points and Faxon. There's the patient offense. Get it to the big fella, force the double team.
The looks are going to be there within this offense for Bob Ritchie. The looks are always there. That's the beauty of it. Jalen Slauson has a chance to thrive this year as a scorer more than we saw last year. Obviously the reigning Southern Conference Defensive Player of the Year, but if he can take that next step offensively, the Paladins are kicked into a whole different gear.
Vanderwall with the block. Here's Pegues, pump fake, sends it to the corner. Open 3 on the way. Bothwell, yes. Those are the kind of threes Coach Ritchie and staff like to see. In transition, in rhythm threes, and Bothwell pushes the Paladin lead to 7.
And I'll tell you, Bryant, it was a great choice to, we're going to get an offensive foul there on North Greenville, but it was a great choice to pass up the open 3 from J.P. Pegues. Just so much poise to drive into the lane, kick out to the corner, and find a better shooter. Your best player on the perimeter is Mike Bothwell. Why not let him get an open corner 3? He's going to knock it down.
After the turnover, the Paladins will have a chance to push out the lead into double digits for the first time. Both teams with 11 rebounds here in the opening 10 minutes. Dean down the right side of the lane. Strong take off the glass. Can't get it to fall. Good look there by Garrett Heen, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Sent far side. Here's Hewitt will launch a 3-pointer. That one's short. Slauson with the rebound. That's his first of the game. Bothwell 1-on-1. Double team comes out to Heen. Had the open look, passed it up. You see North Greenville, a lot of times these Furman players into the paint, double, triple team comes there. Bothwell slices through the double team off the glass and in. Bothwell now with 8.
And Mike Bothwell is just so versatile as a scorer. You've seen him knock down 2 threes right there, backs down his opponent, spins through a double team, and the lefty touch with the kiss off the glass, just the true epitome of a 3-level scorer at this level. And he's going to make a lot of heads turn in his 5th season this year.
Slauson went for the steal, almost had it. Here's the left drive off the mark. Heen with the rebound. Furman looking to run. Bothwell out in front. Gets the pass. Alley-oop on the way. Vanderwall. The freshman. It could have been Slauson. It could have been Vanderwall. That gets the students on their feet, and the Paladin lead into double digits at 11.
An absolutely electric alley-oop, and Furman is at their best when they're out in transition. You see it right there, Bryant. Vanderwall, how about you kick off your career with an alley-oop dunk from Mike Bothwell? Absolutely amazing right there from the Paladins.
First points for the freshman. Brown, 3-pointer off the mark, tries to stop this Furman run out of bounds, and it will be Furman basketball. Paladins a 9-0 run over the last minute 45. Marcus Foster back in. Vanderwall takes a seat. Tell you what, you can see why this staff is so excited about him, and he's greeted by his team as he goes to the sideline. Take another look.
And Slauson jumps and Vanderwall jumps right there, but Vanderwall's able to poach it out for Jalen Slauson and throw it down. First points of your career, Brian, I would be telling that one to my kids, my grandkids, everyone for the rest of my life. My first points in my college basketball career were off an alley-oop in transition.
There's going to be an offensive foul, a little bit too aggressive by Pegues. You also just wish you could dunk.
Yeah, I do wish I could dunk.
Anywhere. I mean, I'm saying like I could do it, so.
I could rim graze. I think dunking is probably giving me a little bit too much credit.
Pegues, his first personal foul, and we'll go back over to the Crusaders here. 8.5 to go. Furman with an 11-point lead here in the opening half. Nice take off the glass, can't get it to fall. Ball tipped around, offensive rebound for the Crusaders. Trying to drive against this Furman team, wild off the glass. Garrett Heen picks up another rebound. He now has 6. Furman 47% from the field as Bothwell takes it, lays it off the glass, can't get it to fall, was trying to go through contact, no whistle.
Yeah, I was looking for the foul there, made an appeal to the referee, no call. Good defense by North Greenville. They're really going to have to neutralize Mike Bothwell if they want any path back into this one.
Only 2 second chance points for Furman, none for the Crusaders. Dangerous pass. Nowhere to go with the basketball. Shot clock down to 10. Burton been kept quiet, only 2 points for the leading scorer for North Greenville. That's going to be a whistle. Steps on the baseline, another turnover. Now they're going to get an offensive foul. They're going to say the hook against Baker. So it will be Furman basketball when we come back. 7:40 remaining in this opening half. Furman in the midst of a 9-0 run, starting to pull away here from North Greenville.
Are you kidding me? Is that for me? Ow. Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event on now. Receive a credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have the solutions to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit bonsecours.com/ortho to make an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you.
We don't only raise our crops here, we raise our families here. It's not easy for Ingalls to deal with small farmers. It's easy for them to call one big supplier, give them a PO and say, fill it, but they buy local. You have that special product that only Ingalls can provide.
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the Dew.
You'd fire up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
Bryant Lambert, Facts and Childress back with you. State-of-the-art coaches' offices, locker rooms here, other updates inside Timmons Arena include some new student seating right along the baseline. There's some new rafters there, packed out student sections, so they got the students right across from the away bench fraction, but now along the baseline rised up. They have the Wicked Weed beer garden raised on the other end, new baseline and courtside seating. So a lot of intangibles that Coach Ritchie is saying really adds to the atmosphere, which is already the best place to play in the Southern Conference.
Yeah, and you see that the students are turning out for the renovations. The student section is absolutely packed here tonight at Timmons Arena.
3 to shoot, Pegues over to Heen. He's got to throw one off the side of the backboard. It's going to be a shot clock violation. And turnover back over to the Crusaders.
Yeah, and good defense by the Crusaders right there, who really need to stop the bleeding. It's a 9-0 run for the Paladins right now, and North Greenville has missed 8 of their last 9 shots and have not made any of their last 6 shots. So a scoreless drought extending over 4 minutes now for the Crusaders, who are in desperate need of a bucket.
Furman offense averaged over 77 points a season ago, gave up just over 68. Might have gotten away with a push-off. Heen with the block down low. Looked like an easy layup. Heen, but now the other end, Foster for 3. That's off the side of the rim, out of bounds, off the hands of Garrett Heen. And it'll be Crusader basketball as Joe Anderson steps back in as Pegues takes a seat.
You know, Bryant, there's a difference between settle threes and good misses. That's a good miss right there from Marcus Foster. He's in transition. You make a couple advanced passes. You get into the paint. You get a paint touch and you kick back out for an open shot. You can't complain with that if you're Bob Ritchie. Paladins are 2 of 10 from beyond the arc in this game thus far, but the looks are there and they're getting good shots. So progressively, you mentioned the three-point prowess they showed last year. Those looks are going to start to fall for Furman.
Here's Burton, tries to get it on the layup off the mark. Furman wanting to run. Here's Anderson over to Bothwell down the left side, down the middle of the lane. The finger roll is in. Bothwell now in double digits with 10. He's 4 of 6 from the field.
And just such a high IQ run down the lane right there from Mike Bothwell. Great Euro step, able to extend with his offhand, which is the right, and finger roll it in. Just on a different level than anyone else, it seems, as a scorer.
Muncie, the redshirt junior out of Greenville. Crusaders trying to find somewhere to go with the basketball. Just one of their last 11 hadn't scored in 5 minutes. Furman defense buckling down, tries to lob it down low. Weak side help comes. Bothwell and Slauson both there, but only 4 on the shot clock.
Yeah, definitely going to have to go to your best baseline out of bounds play right here if you're the Crusaders. Have to stop the bleeding. The scoring drought has extended to 5:38, and you've missed your last 8 shots. So let's see if Coach Lister can draw up something here to get a Crusader open and get a much-needed bucket.
Forces up a shot off the rim, no good. How about Garrett Heen? He now has 8 rebounds already here, 15 minutes going to the opening half. It looks like there might be a little bit of a clock issue. And tell you what, Jalen Slauson, we talked about all the different talented players here. Carter Witt checks back in. Slauson, not only all Southern Conference preseason honors, he was named to the Karl Malone watch list, named obviously in honor of the former Jazz player, is annually to the top power forward, not in mid-major, in all of college basketball. So just an honor to be named for the watch list for Jalen Slauson. Talks about some of the respect he's getting nationally. And I tell you what, when it was announced that Slauson and Bothwell were coming back, that raised a lot of eyes. And honestly, some of it's just the culture that Bob Ritchie has built, that these players wanted to come back for a 5th year.
Yeah, it's really a testament to the culture. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys who more than likely have professional basketball in their futures, coming back to Furman for their 5th years and wanting to play another year under Bob. They want to get over the hump. They want to play in the NCAA tournament, Bryant, and I think they got a really, really good shot doing it this year if they play up to their potential.
Another turnover for the Crusaders. Here's Anderson. Nice head fake off the glass. Couldn't get the layup. Thought it might have been goaltending, potentially. No call. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, certainly looked like a goaltend right there. A good job by Anderson of getting into the paint. And, man, North Greenville is really struggling offensively right now. Furman looking to capitalize on this fast break.
Nice spin by Foster. It's going to be a blocking foul. He'll go to the line, I think, for 2. And that will be the case. So 2 shots coming up. Take another look at that last block. They might have said it was right before it hit the glass. Nice job by the crew. And there's the spin move and the foul. Foster going to the line for 2. Talk about Furman, what they have upcoming down in the Charleston Classic. They always have the Greenville Winter Invitational, an inaugural event down at Bonds and Quarters. South Carolina will be playing ECU. Furman will be playing Stephen F. Austin, and then Clemson and Richmond. So that's another cool event downtown that will be on December 17th. Get your tickets. That one's going to expect large crowds. But tell you what, good opportunity for the Paladins to be in that event, both with Clemson and Carolina, larger state universities, but a chance for Furman to show they're right there with them basketball talent-wise.
Yeah, and, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. Bob Ritchie is not scared of anyone. This Furman Paladin squad can compete at the top level, and it goes to show with their out-of-conference schedule. It goes to show with these invitationals and classic invitations that they're accepting. They want to play at the top level. They want to be tested, and they want to play these Power 5 schools.
Paladin's coming out with a little bit of a full-court zone pressure as they extend the lead to 26-12. A 12-0 run that's dated very methodically over the last 6.5 minutes. North Greenville now just 21% from the field, Furman above 40%. Jamison sends it to the corner. Burton pump fakes. Now 1 on the shot clock. I don't think they see it. It's ball tipped away before the buzzer. Into the front court. Here's Whitt. Transfer from Wake Forest out to Anderson. 1 more to Slauson into the lane. Spin move underneath. Huey saves it. Back out to Joe Anderson. You see Coach Ritchie trying to tell his team slow down a bit. Vanderwall through contact. No whistle, but gets the bucket. How about the freshman not letting the contact wave him?
Brian, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from Ben Vanderwall. I mean, you saw that he was the first man up off the bench for the Paladins as a freshman. You can see why as Jalen Slauson's out in transition.
Watch out. Hello! Right into the student section. Jalen Slauson now has 8, and that's the first of many one-handed fast break dunks for the senior.
And Brian, it looks like Jalen Slauson was on the way down when he dunked that one. He was elevated so high, his head was almost at the rim, able to flush it for the Paladins, who are now all of a sudden up 18 in this one.
Reverse layup, point blank range missed. There's the putback, can't get it to fall back and forth. Another offensive rebound. Crusaders fighting hard. The lid on the bucket for North Greenville right now. Whitt again into the front court. Hesitates, bumped, and now be blocked by Burton. Nice play by the redshirt sophomore. Burton into the front court, trying to take it himself, and nice job fighting through Jalen Slauson, and that stops an 8-minute drought for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that's not an easy task by any means to fight through Jalen Slauson, the reigning Southern Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Not able to get that one off of Burton, and North Greenville, as you said, they're one of their last 14. Prior to that, over 8 minutes scoreless with 5 turnovers in that stretch. So a much-needed basket for the Crusaders who try and get back on track.
Anderson thought about a 3. The floater off the glass and in. Nice patience there by Joe Anderson, not settling. And the lead back to 18 as Anderson gets his first bucket.
Yeah, and Joe Anderson, a guy who shot a whopping 47% from 3 last year for the Furman Paladins. The next step for him is adding that new element to his game. As you can see right there, he's got a couple good drives to the basket. He can really be an all-around great role player for the Paladins here this year.
Open 3-point on the way. C.J. Jamison, the redshirt junior out of Greer, South Carolina, with the open look. First 3-pointer knocked down by the Crusaders. Furman lead at 15, approaching late first half. Slauson out to Whitt, open look, that's off the mark. Tipped around, there's Vanderwall with the O-board. Tell you what, already impressing in his opening debut. Slauson, count it, and a foul. Just when you think he may be a little out of control, could kind of corrals it, puts it up, and he'll go to the line when we come back.
Tough bucket for Jalen Swanson to send us to the break. Paladins up 34-17.
When you buy Diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly could be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We've put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up and education has received in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
These are the student athletes. This is where they battle. These are their home. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. This is where titles are forever. This is the Southern Conference.
Take another look at the Vanderwall alley-oop slam, his first points as a Paladin. Furman up 34-17. It'll be Slauson going to the line for one. Bryant, Lambert, Faxon, Childress with you. Faxon, look, points in the paint now, 20 for the Paladins, 9 fast break points, 2 of 11 from downtown. Tell you what, you maybe want to see a couple more of those threes fall, but overall, getting to the rim and getting into the paint when they want to.
Yeah, the looks are there, Bryant. And, you know, Furman's not going to shoot 18% from three for the entirety of this game. The map will even out and your shooters will start to hit shots. So if you're the Paladins, yeah, it's a little demoralizing that you're not hitting from the outside. But as you said, balance is the key in college basketball. They've been able to get inside, get some looks for Jalen Slauson, who had the spin move and one before the break. And looks like that are going to continue to come against this Crusader defense. Furman taking advantage of their opportunities.
Slauson and Bothwell, both fifth-year seniors with 10 points leading the way. Vanderwall with 4 as well, and then balanced scoring throughout for the Paladins as Slauson will go to the line to try to compete the three-point play a season ago. 80% from the line, and a player that probably will get fouled a lot and go to the free throw stripe, and nice to see him that high of a percentage. Full court pressure easily beat by North Greenville, set up the offense trailing by 18. That ties the Paladins' largest lead. It was put on by a 16-0 run through the middle stages of this first half. Skip pass near side, nice save, but right to Garrett Heen. A turnover for the Crusaders, their 7th of the night.
Yeah, Paladins got numbers in transition. If they want to take advantage, you're going to lob it down low to Heen on the block. And poked out from the back. North Greenville going to have an opportunity in transition.
Jamison got a hand on it. Burton into the front court against Bothwell. Almost passed it to himself and then surprised himself with a missed layup. Was wide open, couldn't convert. Back and forth we go. 18-point lead as we go under a minute to go here in this opening 20 minutes of the college basketball season. Furman in control, up 18. Slauson thought about a three. They'll take it slowly down the right side of the lane and was almost expecting the double team to come, didn't, and he now has 12.
Yeah, it's just being patient. You know, Jalen Slauson could have shot that three, didn't take a settle shot, does a good job of getting to his strengths, you know, gets to the basket right there. The double team doesn't come, easy lay for number 20.
Step back three, blocked by Heen, gets his own rebound as Jamison down low off the glass. Nice shot, staying with it. And now the shot clock turned off. Furman can wait for one. Paladins at 48% from the field here in the first 20 minutes. McGee's around the offense. Clock at 7. Over, open three-pointer on the way. Foster got a good look, couldn't knock it down. Now 2, midcourt heave is up. Good if it goes off the rim. And the Paladins will take an 18-point lead into the locker room at 37-19. Paladins led by as many as 20 as they seem to pick up the 2022-2023 season in similar fashion as they ended last season with a highly successful power offense. 37-19 Paladins. Halftime coming up next.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of the journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
We don't only raise our crops here, we raise our families here. It's not easy for Ingalls to deal with small farmers. It's easy for them to call one big supplier, give them a PO and say, fill it, but they buy local. You have that special product that only Ingles can provide.
Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
It's bow time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, hand-breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk of sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have the solutions to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit bonsecours.com/ortho to make an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
Taking a look at the first half highlights, Bryant Lambert, Facts and Childress with you. Paladins leading 37-19. Maybe a little slow start. Furman turned it on quickly. Defense leading the offense in that first half.
Definitely a big aspect of the Paladin success early on was defense. You know, your three ball's not falling at 2 for 12, only 17%, so you got to find other ways to generate offense. Paladins really competed on the defensive end through the entirety of the first half, and it's indicative by the score.
It was Burton trying to get things going for North Greenville, got out transition. That stopped a 16-0 Furman run. You're going to see a lot of this season. Jalen Slauson, who can be aggressive defensively on the perimeter, leading to that one-handed dunk into that newly formed student section. This was a big shot for North Greenville. Jamison with the first three-pointers trying to stop some of that Furman Paladin momentum. But Slauson, really impressive. Faxon staying within control there. He chance for the three-point play.
I was so impressed by Jalen Slauson in the first half offensively. More of a defensive player, or at least that's what he's known as last year. This year, looking to take the next step offensively, and in the first half really showed that he could.
Taking a look at the first half stats, Paladins near 50% from the field. So maybe if you're Coach Ritchie talking about in the locker room, those rebounding margins tied up at 23 apiece.
Yeah, you know, you just got to continue to compete on the glass, and it's going to be a battle. I was really impressed by Ben Vanderwall, was able to get in and get a couple offensive rebounds, but defensively, you got to do a better job boxing out on the defensive glass. It's going to create you opportunities in transition.
Furman 2 of 12 from beyond the arc. North Greenville just 1 of 7. You see those low percentages there, but all leads to a Paladin 37-19 lead at the half. We'll take a break, be back with more halftime action here from Greenville with the Paladins up 18.
Are you kidding me? Is that for me? How? Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event on now. Receive a credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
It really touches my heart that individuals at Ingles treat you like family. They invest their love into you. They invest their business into you, and they give back to communities in rural areas like ours. I don't know exactly where family farmers like mine would be without Ingles supermarkets.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have the solutions to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit bonsecours.com/ortho to make an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you.
Jewelry has always been the most powerful gift of love, whether it's an engagement or an anniversary. Here at Hales, we're in the business of celebrating your life's most special moments, from the past, the present, and the future. Being Greenville's oldest business means we understand that we're only as good as how you feel when you leave the store. We welcome you to visit our flagship jewelry store.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
These are the student athletes. This is where they battle. These are their homes. This is where they become Rhodes Scholars and academic All-Americans. This is where titles are forever. This is the Southern Conference.
Welcome inside Timmons Arena. Bryant Lambert alongside Facts and Childress with you. Exciting time of year. College basketball is back. A lot of action around the country here inside Timmons Arena. Even though playing a North Greenville opponent that Furman probably seems a little bit outclassed, a lot of energy in the building for this opener.
Definitely a lot of energy. You know, the renovations in Timmons Arena, you know, showing strong here. The student section has turned out, and a great time to be a Paladin fan.
Southern Conference as a whole, a lot of expectations, drawn a lot of eyes around the country as you look at the preseason poll. Paladin is picked to win the league by most of the coaches and the media. A lot of attention coming out of Birmingham, Sanford right there. You have UNCG, Chattanooga. I tell you what, though, any given day, one of these teams can pick off another one. They got 10 nationally televised games this year between ESPNU, CBS Sports Network. Furman will be on national TV at least 7 times from some of those ESPN Classic appearances. This league facts in nationally, really the last 3 or 4 years, drawing some attention.
Yeah, and, you know, we saw in the Southern Conference tournament last year how much parity there is. Furman and Sanford, you see the top 2 in the preseason poll played a classic game in the semifinals of the SoCon last year before that heartbreaker for the Paladins against UNCG in the finals. So a lot of parity within this conference, a lot of talent, and there's going to be some teams to watch for over the course of the year. Don't sleep on the Woffords and the ETSUs. Those teams are more than capable of competing.
Around the Southern Conference tonight, some of the marquee matchups. Going to look at Chattanooga taking on the College of Charleston down in Charleston. That's a 7:30 tip just getting underway. You have EMI at Richmond, another matchup to keep an eye out. So some opening night statistics that will, some games a little more lopsided, others more competitive. You really want to get going, and sometimes this league has picked off a lot of the Power 5 leagues. Furman just in itself, you mentioned Louisville, Villanova, Loyola, Chicago the past couple of years, so a lot of chances to pick up wins. Nobody will come sleeping on the Southern Conference. We'll take another break, be back, and get second half action going as the Paladins lead at 37-19 here inside Timmons Arena.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
We don't only raise our crops here, we raise our families here. It's not easy for Ingalls to deal with small farmers. It's easy for them to call one big supplier, give them a PO and say, fill it, but they buy local. You have that special product that only Ingalls can provide.
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Think big. Something life-changing. I'm talking education. Let's get inventive. Blow things up in a good way. Do it for 20 years? Wake up and education has received in funding. Who does all this? If you've ever played one of these or these, that would be you. Yeah, thank you.
When you buy Diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly could be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We've put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
Happily ever Hales.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
It's bow time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk of sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat.
(37-19) Paladins here at the half. There you see North Greenville head coach Chad Lister. Talking about connections between these two schools. Lister, a 1995 graduate of Furman University, in his 21st season at the helm of the Crusaders. There you see Rhett Lister for the Paladins, a junior out of Easley, the son of North Greenville head coach. And, you know, we always joke with Rhett when he plays his father, are you going to get in and how many points you're going to go? And that's going to be who says gets the bragging rights at the Thanksgiving table.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the dynamic. And talked a little bit in the pregame about how Bob Ritchie, a North Greenville grad, while Lister is a Furman grad, and now Lister's son playing at Furman. So all sort of entanglements here between Furman and North Greenville, and bound to have some when you're only 20 minutes down the road.
Not only Coach Drew, but his wife Jessica, a North Greenville graduate as well. So a lot of overlap between these two schools as they're both on the court getting ready for this second half. Paxton, take us into both locker rooms. Let's start one with their coach Chad Lister and his North Greenville Crusaders. What do you say he did well? What do you need to change here in the second half?
I think he did a really good job hustling and competing on the glass. You look at the rebounding numbers, 23 to 23. I think you'll take that if you're North Greenville. Furman, a team with a lot of size and good rebounders. You look at Jalen Slauson, who did have a big in first half offensively, only grabbed one rebound, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for Slauson. So I think he did a really good job of competing on the glass. It's about shot making for North Greenville in the second half. You have to find a way to make more shots to get yourself back into this game, whether that's open or contested. Go get a bucket and get back into the game.
There you see what the Crusaders have upcoming, a few days off, and they'll be at home to take on Georgia College, Coker College, back-to-back days, and then they'll get the season really underway, and you get that in routine, playing every 3 or 4 days. As the Paladins huddle up, it will be Furman basketball to start this second half. Big one on Friday night. We talked about it inside here. Timmons Arena. Belmont comes into town. Probably the best mid-major matchup of the night. Maybe one of the best in the early non-conference slate. And then they'll head down to Charleston, taking on Penn State as part of that Charleston Children's Shriners Hospital Classic.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the non-con and it speaks for itself. Belmont, a team with a very realistic chance to make the NCAA tournament. Penn State got some great players and a great coaching staff up there in Pennsylvania, and then, you know, potentially play Virginia Tech. You could potentially play Old Dominion. A lot of good teams in that tournament that Furman's going to be playing in. Going to be a great litmus test for this Paladin squad early in the season.
Another Southern Conference connection up at Virginia Tech. Former Wofford head coach Mike Young leading the Hokies as The Paladins taking the court to start the second half. Quickly, if you're Coach Bob Ritchie, what do you want to see different in that second half? What do you want to see continue?
I think you've got to find a way to win the rebound battle. You got Garrett Heaney, you've got Jalen Slauson, you add a guy like Marcus Foster as well on the wing. You have too much size to be equal in the rebound advantage right now, and then just comes down to shot making on the perimeter. I mean, you're 2 of 12 from 3 in the first half. That's nothing to panic about. You just have to stick to yourselves, trust your concepts, and trust your plays. The looks will be there, knock down the shots.
Pageesh, Huey, Slauson, Foster, and Bothwell starting 5 for the Paladins here in the second half. Slauson along the baseline, patient offense here to start second half. 1-on-1, double team doesn't come, spins, contact, count it. Jalen Slauson adds to his total. He knocked 15, and tell you what, you almost have to bring the double team or else Slauson, when he has this kind of patience, an easy put away.
Slauson has the massive size advantage inside and showing a little bit of skill right there. Fakes to the left, goes up with the right hook, finishes through contact. Jalen Slauson appears to have unlocked a different level of a scorer over the offseason, and that's going to be a big addition for the Furman Paladins. If he can improve offensively and become a true 1-2 punch with Mike Bothwell on this end of the floor, Furman's going to be a tough out for anyone in the country.
21-point Paladin leads, largest of the night. Here's North Greenville, first possession of the second half. Half-court man-to-man for the Paladins. Saw a few full-court pressures. They've been half-court man-to-man most of the night. Fadeaway jumper on the way, off the rim. Heen with the rebound.
Yeah, good job of boxing out right there by Garrett Heen, and a transition opportunity here for Furman if they play their cards right.
Miscommunication there. Pagee's jig. Slauson thought he was going the other way, and it'll be back over to the Crusaders here. Furman leading it 40-19. 19 minutes here to go in this opening night of college basketball. Partner, it's just fun to be back courtside.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Timmons Arena, we speak about the renovations, but the vibe here is just unmatched. You said it a little bit earlier, this has got to be the best atmosphere in the Southern Conference. The student section really turned out for the opener here tonight, and you can assume as get into conference play, it's only going to be better from the Furman Paladin students.
4 on the shot clock, fadeaway jumper short. Heen grabs it out of midair. Heen now in double digits with 10 rebounds here early second half. Bothwell into the lane. Floater rattles home. Mike Bothwell now with 12. And the Paladin lead pushed to 23.
That is such a tough bucket from Mike Bothwell. I mean, very quick first step. Pro move right there with the hop. Stops on a dime, floats it over 2 defenders, and puts it into the basket. Furman not looking in the rearview mirror right now, keeping their foot on the gas.
Just like that, the Crusaders respond. They get to the rim. Points in the paint. 18 in favor of the Paladins. See Furman a little more patient here to start this second half. Focus on getting it down low. Here's Slauson again. Double team doesn't come, and the hack by Caleb Williams. And it'll be 2 at the line for Slauson as he's holding, looks like his right thumb, right wrist. And all the Paladin fans hold their breath right now as you take another look.
Yeah, and I don't think that North Greenville has a physical matchup for Jalen Slauson. You see a little bit of a scare right there with the injury. He's still grabbing at his hand, but you know, if he continues to play this back down game in the post, I don't know how North Greenville is going to stop it. It's really just about patience for Slauson and the Furman Paladins offense as a whole.
There's 9 rebounds, now 10 for Heen, a career high for the junior out of Charlotte. So showing a little bit of what he might do this year. Slauson makes the first of 2. Second one off the front of the rim, no good. Furman now 50% from the field. North Greenville just 24%. Purdue sends it near side, and now 10 on the shot clock. Working against Bothwell into the lane. Athletic move, count it. And a chance to go to the line. The 6-foot redshirt sophomore out of Louisville, Kentucky. Look at that athleticism, partner.
That's a heck of a bucket from Purdue right there. Euro step avoids Garrett Heen just enough to spin it in and gets the contact. He's going to have a chance to make it a 3-point play. One of the best plays we've seen here all night right there from Purdue.
Nice finish, slicing through a few Paladin defenders. That foul going against Heen, his first.
Vanderwall checks into the game for Slauson, who still appears to have an injury. It looks like to the finger or hand. He's going to get that checked out on the bench and hope that's something serious for the Paladins or Slauson.
Full-time trainer Justin Gaines, a big part of the Paladins' success. Looks like they're taking a look at that right finger. We'll keep you updated. Pegues drives baseline, bump no call. Fadeaway jumper doesn't fall. Keen battles, can't get the rebound on the baseline. It'll be Crusader basketball.
Regardless, I like that shot from JP Pegues because if the Paladins are going to be a true contender this year, they're going to have him to be an offensive weapon. He's impressed me so far with his poise. He's clearly taken a step of maturity and leadership over the course of the offseason, but offensive game's got to get there for Pegues. You know he's going to compete on defense. You know he's going to hustle his heart out, but if he can start to knock down jumpers for this Paladin team, it unlocks a whole new level of the Furman offense.
Another whistle. That foul going against the Paladins. Marcus Foster to take another look. Back-to-back fouls against the Paladins. Another chance at the line, this time for C.J. Jamison. Knocks down the first. Perfect 2 of 2 from the line for the Crusaders. Checking back in for North Greenville, John Haddock Rogers, redshirt freshman out of Anderson, South Carolina. Speaking of Anderson, a lot of staff changes for this Furman squad. Yeah, Jimmy. That free throws in. Going to be the head coach at Jimmy Williams goes to be the head coach at Anderson. Wish him luck as Anderson's tipping off against fellow Southern Conference member Samber tonight. So Jimmy Williams moves down I-85, and then coming to the Chad Werner. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Joins Furman staff as an assistant coach. You had Jordan Lyons. Furman fans will recognize his name. Former sharpshooter, played a little bit overseas. Now he's back on the Furman staff. You have Aaron Engel, who's now the special assistant to head coach Bob Ritchie. Brings an interesting background, a lot of experience. So Paxton, you reload on the court, and they reload and make some tweaks off the court as well.
Yeah, and I love the offseason additions for this Furman Paladin staff. I mean, you talk about Jordan Lyons, that's a legend in the program here at Furman. To be able to bring him back and have just another mind in the room for this already prolific offense, you got to think they're just going to continue to get better and better if that's even possible.
17-point Furman lead with the basketball, approaching the first media timeout of this second half. Half-court man-to-man for the Crusaders. Heen's bumped from behind. As the Paladins will huddle up, and the shot clock back to 20. 17 for Slauson, 12 for Bothwell, the two leaders for the Paladins. There you see Coach Bob Ritchie. Carter Witt takes off the warm-up. We mentioned the transfer from Wake Forest, another option to run the point for the Paladins. You have Pegues, you have Joe Anderson. Furman looking to go 9, maybe 10 deep normally this season, so still trying to work out what the rotations are, the minutes. Facts, and a good problem to have when you try to get the best combination on the court.
Definitely in your Mike Bothwell right there with a great drive and right-handed layup. But games against North Greenville like this, they're feel-out games, 4 rotations, 4 minutes, because on Friday, Bryant, you're going to be on the call for this one. It's going to be a heck of a game against Belmont. It's going to be an absolute battle, and Furman's going to want to have a lot of things worked out tonight, worked out of their system to go in at full strength against Belmont.
Man, that's the fast break off a made basket. Marcus Foster, North Greenville not getting back. Crusaders finding a little more success on offense, but have to get back quickly as the Paladins inbound. 19-point Furman advantage. Furman is led by as many as 23. That one knocked away out of bounds. Will stay with North Greenville. When we come back, 14 on the shot clock, 15-14 to go here in this second half. Paladins cruising up 19 here in the season opener from Timmons Arena.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of the journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
Jewelry has always been the most powerful gift of love, whether it's an engagement or an anniversary. Here at Hales, we're in the business of celebrating your life's most special moments, from the past, the present, and the future. Being Greenville's oldest business means we understand you are only as good as how you feel when you leave the store. We welcome you to visit our flagship jewelry store.
happily ever hails.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have solutions to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit bonsecours.com/ortho to make an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you.
Grant Lambert, Facts and Children's back with you. 47-28, Paladins in front. North Greenville basketball. 14 on the shot clock in that Furman huddle. Coach Ritchie talking about defensively. You got to switch quick. You can't kind of lollygag over on those back cuts, trying to emphasize cutting off the path to the basket. And there, a steal on the inbounds, grabbing it is Whit. Whit into the front court, steps back off the glass and in. Athletic move for the sophomore out of Raleigh.
Yeah, you could see instincts take over right there for Carter Whit. This was a guy that was recruited to Wake Forest in the Power 5 for a reason. Gets out on the fast break, incredible Euro step and finger roll finish with the right hand. And when it slows down for Carter Whit and he takes that next step, this Furman team is just going to be even scarier.
Nice aggressive move to the basket. They're able to get to the rim. And off the glass, lead back to 19 at 49-30. Now 24 points in the paint tonight for the Crusaders. Whit trying to get it inside. Now taking it all the way, and the aggressive take by Marcus Foster, and both teams now able to get some success at the rim.
Yeah, and you'd love to see that if you're Bob Ritchie and this Paladin staff. Marcus Foster being aggressive on offense.
Three-pointer well off the mark, rebound taken down by Anderson. This is a Furman team that likes to go quick on misses. All about the three. Foster again fights it off the back rim, no good. Tipped into the hands of the Crusaders.
And the Crusaders have done a good job all night on the defensive glass. Do a great job of boxing out there and then almost capitalizing transition. That one just rolls off the rim.
Foster brings it up for the Paladins, sends it far side to Whit. He'll launch a three-pointer on the way, and that's off the front of the rim. Furman now just 2 of 13 from long range. Purdue poked away, goes right to the Crusaders in the corner. Purdue, that athletic move earlier this half for the and one. Highlight of the night so far for North Greenville. Shot clock again, now to 5. Jamison, tough shot, knocks it down with a hand in his face. Big time move there.
Yeah, it's a great bucket from Jamison. Shot clock running down. That's when, it comes more natural. You're not in a set anymore. You got to go get one. And that's what Jamison did right there. Turn around, fade away with a beautiful stroke and drops it in for North Greenville.
Huey skips it far side. Three-pointer on the way. Foster inside out. Can't get it to fall. Quickly into the front court now with it to Purdue. He has it poked away. Now Furman with numbers up to Anderson all by himself in the easy left-handed layup. Joe Anderson now with 4. Defense leading the offense. That's now 11 points for the Paladins off Crusader turnovers. Three-pointer open near side off the mark. Weak side rebound taken down by Vanderwall. Freshman, 4 points, 5 rebounds in his debut. Huey turn around, gets the roll. Tyrese Huey now with 5. Almost surprised he had it that low and hesitated, but able to make the little hook.
Yeah, and Vanderwall added an assist to his stat line. He's been so impressive here early on, and in the passing lane, gonna have a chance to throw one down.
The freshman, timeout taken North Greenville. Furman with their largest lead at 25, and it's the freshman. Defense to offense, and with 12:06 to go, the Paladins have their largest lead of the night.
Ben Vanderwall impressing as a freshman for the Furman Paladins, and Paladins up 25, biggest lead of the night.
Are you kidding me? Is that for me?
Out.
Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event on now. Receive a credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
It really touches my heart that individuals at Ingalls treat you like family. They invest their love into you. They invest their business into you. And they give back to communities in rural areas like ours. I don't know exactly where family farmers like mine would be without Ingalls supermarkets.
Not better with Pepsi.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the Dew.
It's boat time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, hand-breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk of sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat.
Take a look at the freshman throwing it down, eyes wide open. Quite a start for the 6'7", 210-pound Elmhurst, Illinois native. And tell you what, in fact, we talked about in the first half, but you see why Furman and Coach Bob Ritchie want him on the court.
Yeah, and Vanderwall, you can already tell, Bryant, a guy that even if he's not contributing in the stat sheet, which he is tonight, fortunately, for the Paladins, he's going to have impact because he's always active on both ends of the floor.
Coming out of the timeout, a foul underneath, and it'll be 2 free throws for North Greenville when we come back. Under 12 media timeout. Paladins cruising up 25 here in Greenville.
Hey, girls! Hi. Are you kidding me? Is that for me?
Out.
Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event on now. Receive a credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
It really touches my heart that individuals at Ingalls treat you like family. They invest their love into you. They invest their business into you. And they give back to communities in rural areas like ours. I don't know exactly where family farmers like mine would be without Ingalls supermarkets.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the Dew.
It's boat time. This is Larry. And this is the big, bold, hand-breaded Bo's chicken sandwich. Larry knew he couldn't. He shouldn't. I mean, he is a chicken after all. But Larry craved this flavor-packed hunk sandwich. And before he knew it, his little chicken heart belonged to Bojangles forever. Thanks to a sandwich so juicy, so tender, even a chicken wants to eat it.
Larry, people are trying to eat.
Brian Lambert, Facts and Children's with you. 25-point Furman lead. Crusaders at the line, shooting 2 coming out of the timeout. First one knocked down by Seth Hewitt. 6'6", redshirt junior out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Tell you what, credit the Crusaders playing hard. Fight for loose balls.
Yeah, I mean, almost out-rebounding Furman. Furman still only has the 1 rebound advantage. It was tied at halftime. Went in the rebound battle here 6-5 in the second half, but North Greenville definitely came into Timmons Arena ready to compete, and credit to Coach Lister for having his guys ready to play.
Nice pass to Huey, two-handed jam, give Bothwell the assist. Bothwell now with 2 assists on the night to go along with his 14 points.
And we'll talk about, player development, which is something that I think is the most underrated part of the program here at Furman, and what Bob Ritchie does is steal from Witt there and can have a chance in transition. But Huey, another guy that's going to have a chance to develop into a contributor for the Paladins over the coming years. He could be a menace come junior, senior year, only a sophomore, so still a lot of time to grow for Huey.
There, take another look. Rogers hacking across the forearm of Mike Bothwell, and take that possession to go. Bothwell draws in those 2 defenders, Fax, and that leaves a nice cutting Huey. That's what Coach Ritchie says on offense. Always move without the basketball. Huey rewarded for the dunk.
Yeah, perfect placement right there from Huey. Great IQ within the offense, right in the dunker spot, and slams it home.
One more upcoming. Furman now 8 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. Bothwell knocking down a pair. Furman pushes the lead out to 27th, the largest of the night. I tell you what, it's only really been one big run. Everything else kind of been very methodical for the Paladins as they come out in kind of that 1-3-1 trapping type half-court zone.
Yeah, I like the adjustment here from Coach Ritchie to give a different look to North Greenville, who's been a little bit better offensively here in the second half, and it generates a stop rebound by Heen.
North Greenville 15 points here in the second half, had 19 at the break. Furman's a little more productive offensively as well, as that 3-pointer's off by Anderson, trying to keep it alive. Huey tips it out of bounds, and it'll be North Greenville basketball. Furman now just 2 of 15 behind the arc, still with this big-time lead, and had some open looks. You said some of them you like better than others coming into the rhythm of the offense.
Yeah, and I'm not minding any time Anderson wants to let it fly from 3 after the season he had last year. A great pass right there, and North Greenville going to continue to try and chip away at this lead. But, with the Furman offense, the concepts that they run and the pace that they play at, there's always going to be those looks there. So if a guy like Joe Anderson wants to let one fly after shooting 47% from 3 last year, I say you let him fly. Another good shot right there for Carter Witt.
Yeah, inside-out 3-pointer with an open look. Front of the rim, now quickly back the other way. The Crusaders. Furman, though, as a team for the field, above 50% at 51%. Might have gotten away with a double dribble, loses the basketball. Now 17 on the shot clock. We're midway through this second half. Crusaders just 29% from the field.
Furman continues to compete on defense, and underrated part of what they've done is forcing these late shot clock looks. Good look there for North Greenville, though, able to knock it down late in the shot clock.
Hewitt gets the Crusaders' second 3-pointer of the game. Lead back to 22. See Furman a little more patient offensively this half. Worked it inside out. There's Huey, an open 3-pointer. That one's off the rim. Battle for the rebound. How about Heen? Adding to his career high now with 12 rebounds. Huey again lays it over the top and rewarded for cutting to the basket without the basketball.
And Huey is so good of the timing aspect of cutting, getting into that dunker spot, always seems to be in the right position for the Furman Paladins. And talk about how you're going to play your way into more minutes. Huey doing a great job tonight of playing with high IQ, being in the right place, and converting on his opportunities.
Good defense there against Burton. Staying in front, Burton thought about a 3, working against Witt. It's going to be a late whistle and a foul with 5 on the shot clock, and they'll be back to 20 as the fifth Furman team foul.
Bryant, these two teams are now 4 of 28 combined from beyond the arc in this game after that Huey missed 3 on the other end before the Witt foul. 4 of 28, not a stellar percentage from either of these teams. Neither team performing to standard beyond the arc.
Loose ball picked up, another turnover at the Crusaders. They're 15th, Furman on the break. Now Joe Anderson will slow it down. Over to Huey, open look, passed up a 3, now Witt. Over to Heen, he'll launch an open 3-pointer, knock it down. Garrett Heen now has 5. steps into it with confidence, and the Paladin lead back to 27.
Is that the classic announcer jinx that I just did right there after mentioning the three-point percentage? And immediately Garrett Heed comes in and knocks down a three for the Paladins.
Back the other way, off the mark, no good. Rebound taken down by Witt. He'll flip it forward to Bothwell, behind the back, over to Anderson. Thought about a three. Can Witt do it? He's open. Back-to-back threes on the way. Yes! He looks at the bench, and the Paladins up 30. We said keep shooting in rhythm. They'll fall, and back-to-back tray balls.
And Bryant, from where we're sitting, we got a perfect angle on that Carter Witt three. You could tell that was in right when he shot it. In rhythm and transition. Those are the kind of looks Bob Ritchie and this staff want.
Quick three-pointer off the mark. Here comes Bothwell. Witt thought about a three, drives baseline. Sends it to the corner. Anderson, three in a row. No. Bothwell, offensive rebound, and Huey takes it away from him. Witt will try one. Yes! Paladins, 3 of their last 4 from long range. How quickly it will fall, and the lead balloons to 33. Timeout, North Greenville.
And Bryant, you're seeing the talent take over with Carter Witt. This guy was recruited to a Power 5 school for a reason. Back-to-back three balls for Carter Witt. A takeover here from the Paladins in Timmons Arena.
Timeout on the court. Furman cruising up 72-39 here from Greenville.
Hey, girls! Hi. Are you kidding me? Is that for me? How? Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home sales event on now. Receive a credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
Living with joint pain isn't easy, but lately dealing with it has felt even harder. So you've been putting up with it. That stops today. Today you stand up for yourself and say enough, and we solve it. Because we have the solution to get you back on your feet. You're ready. It's your time. Visit bonsecours.com/ortho to get an appointment and get started with your joint replacement today. Bon Secours, healthcare for the universe of you.
We don't only raise our crops here, we raise our families here. It's not easy for Ingalls to deal with small farmers. It's easy for them to call one supplier, give them a PO, and say, fill it, but they buy local. You have that special product that only Ingalls can provide.
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the Dew.
You fired up the grill for one hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
Brian Lambert, Facts and Childers back with you. Furman up 72-39. Three-pointers starting to fall here in the second half as the Paladins lead above 30.
Yeah, and Furman desperately needed to knock down some three-pointers to get that percentage back up. Now 5 of 21, 24% on the game. Not great, but after the 2 of 18 start, getting 3 of their next 4 definitely helped.
Bump and a foul. 6-term Furman team found no shots. Next whistle will be a 1-and-1. There you see Heen just a little late getting back up top. Half-court man-to-man for the Paladins. Drive down the middle of the lane. Nice finish. That stops the Paladin run, 72-41.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jamison's been really impressive tonight for this North Greenville team. He seems to have been the only steady piece they've had offensively, now leading the team in points with 13 and rebounds with 8. A real bright spot for the Crusaders here, even though they find themselves down 31.
Witt off the rim, can't get it to fall. Rebounds. Furman now 5 in the positive on that advantage. Three-pointer taken top of the key. Jamison knocks it down. Jamison now with 16 points points. He's leading all scorers for North Greenville.
And I'll tell you, C.J. Jamison is going to sleep well tonight. He's coming to Timmons Arena and proving he can hang. Now 16 points and 8 rebounds on the night. The Crusaders continuing to try and fight and scrap late here.
On the corner, that one's off the front of the rim by Witt. Gets his own rebound. Whips it to the front, and Vanderwall. Contact, count it, and a foul. Vanderwall now with 8. I tell you what, doesn't look like a freshman.
Brian, this kid is so impressive. Ben Vanderwall right there, using his size, strength, and finesse to bank one in off the glass, and one going to have a chance to make it a three-point play. And I couldn't have said it any better myself, Brian, when you said doesn't look like a freshman. This guy looks like he's been in college for 3 years and is working on a senior campaign.
Makes the three-point play. Huey checks back in. Heen will take a seat. Paladins now. Slauson 17, Bothwell 16, and then you got 8 from Vanderwall, 7 from Foster, 8 from Witt, 9 from Huey. Very balanced for the Paladins as Slauson's night looks to be done. He was banged up a little bit, went back to the locker room. He got a T-shirt on. We'll be sure to update you if we get any news about Jalen Slauson as that three-pointer's off the mark. Vanderwall tries to knock it away. North Greenville trailing by 31 with 5:45 to go. Look at that athletic finish by Burton, and that shows some of the spark he had a year ago, just 6 tonight.
Yeah, 6 tonight, 19 a year ago, and Foster just a great job of being patient right there to put it home for the Paladins. But been a quiet night for Burton, who had some high expectations coming into this game. I'm sure he'll get it sorted out as the season goes along, but the star of the show for the Crusaders has been C.J. Jamison.
Couple times, Furman almost getting fast breaks off made baskets quickly on the offensive end of the court. Huey has a couple, another one on the way. A little bit of a hate check there for Jamison. Rebound taken by the Paladins. Witt into the front court. 8-away jumper. You got to guard him there mid-range. Witt now in double digits in his Furman debut with 10.
Yeah, and I love how Carter Witt is being aggressive and contributing in all facets of the game. Bryant, you mentioned the 10 points. He's got 4 boards and 3 assists to go along with it and is competing on the defensive end. He's got 4 steals in this one. So I think the coaching staff is going to be more pleased with his defensive output than his offensive output, but a great all-around performance and debut here for Carter Witt in the white and purple.
Pegues quickly into the front court. Thought about it. Now we'll take one from long range. Tell you what, if you're going to shoot that one, that's okay. Maybe shoot it the first time. Shoot it with confidence there, a little bit of hesitation. And quickly back the other way, Burton's going to be bumped by Huey, and it'll be 2 at the line with the sophomore out of Piedmont.
Yeah, and like you said, Bryant, no hesitation's ideal there. You want Pegues to hunt those shots. You want JP Pegues to be aggressive. You know he's got talent. You know he's going to continue to develop his offensive game. But if he can be a reliable three-point shooter and offensive option instead of just a ball handler, a passer, a driver, it unlocks a whole new element for this Paladin offense. And I think Pegues is going to grow as the year goes on, and definitely a player to monitor in the SoCon because we could be talking about one of Bob Ritchie's next breakout guys here in JP Pegues in 2 or 3 years.
The first foul on Huey, one more free throw coming. Knocked them both, and tell you what, you might see why the student's so into a 33-point game. 2 misses are Bojangles' biscuit. So that's what got everybody going here. 79-46, approaching the 4-minute mark, and I pack away from behind. Who else? Jamison all by himself. Lay it off the glass and in. C.J. Jamison, 18 points. What a night.
18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Now 3 steals, actually, for C.J. Jamison on the night. Putting together a nice all-around game here in Timmons Arena and really showcasing his game for some SoCon coaches to see.
Witt coming off the screen, 3-pointer on the way, front rim. Huey gives it to Foster. Foster down low, turnaround, left-handed finish. Nice play by Marcus Foster. He has 11, and the double-digit entourage for the Paladins keeps coming too.
And a good shot there from Carter Witt is a careless turnover from North Greenville, but it's within the flow of the offense. It's off a stagger away. Witt lets it fly, doesn't get it. Foster does the cleanup work.
Final media timeout. Paladins on their way to a 1-0 record, up 81-48.
You fired up the grill for 1 hot dog? Seriously?
Hot dogs, better with Pepsi.
This is no sleepy-headed, moving in reverse kind of state. We're home to barrier-breaking humans who took $7 billion and invested it in microchips, potato chips, nope, education. This investment, it builds jobs and more jobs where people create things like flying, not that. Who does all this? Forward-thinking pilgrims of change, like you. South Carolina. Now that's smart.
When you buy Diamond from Hales, you're getting us. We know what it means to see a smile, to see that reaction when you get that engagement ring. And we take great pride in that stone being absolutely the most beautiful diamond it possibly could be. It's about the smile that it creates when someone opens that box. We've put our life and our soul in picking that diamond, especially for you.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the Dew.
See, Paladins breaking the huddle. All smiles on the Furman bench, 81-48. Maybe you'd say a sluggish first half, potentially offensively. 37 points, already 44 here in the second half. 3 balls going down. We saw those 3 in succession, almost back-to-back. And, 3.5 to go. 33-point game. I don't care your competition, season over. That's something Coach Ritchie's going to like to see.
Yeah, 100%. And Bryant, anytime you can be up 30+ in a game where you've only shot 20% from behind the arc, got to take it as a massive win. Those shots are going to fall for Furman over the rest of the course of this game and the rest of the course of this season. So if the Paladins can find a way to win games without shooting the 3-ball well, it's going to be a scary team and a tough out over the course of the season.
Another tough take by the freshman Vanderwall. He'll go to the line for 2 more. I tell you what, just aggressive, kind of knows where to go with the basketball. And you've seen him rebound, move without the ball in there. Now he'll go to the line and his debut in double digits now with 10.
Yeah, and Bryant, you want to know another way to play your way onto the court as a freshman? Make your free throws. Every touch of the ball important for Vanderwall for his minutes, but he's playing himself into big minutes regardless with his hustle, his intangibles. You can tell that he's already kind of a leader on the court for the Paladins. It seems like he's been in the right place all night defensively. I've been very impressed, and Brian, I don't think either of us were expecting that from him, even though the staff did rave about him in the offseason he had.
Whistle off the ball. North Greenville in the double bonus. Will be a 1-and-1 upcoming for the Crusaders. That last foul going against Garrett Heed, his 4th. This is the front end, rebound taken down. Anderson shows some moves into the front court. Vanderwall reverse layup, a lot of contact. He'll go back to the line. Just no hesitation. Drives right down there and earns 2 more.
It's just the natural aggression, and he has that feeling like he belongs. He has a feeling like he's built for this stage and built for this moment. He's taking on guys with absolute no regard. He's got poise. He's taking care of the ball. He's playing aggressive. Everything you want to see from Ben Vanderwall tonight, he's showcasing it here for this Paladin squad.
The Illinois Basketball Coaches Association AA All-State choice from Timothy Christian High School, averaged 26.5 points, 9.8 rebounds a game during the 2021-22 campaign. So anytime you put up those kind of numbers, come ready to play. And now Heen's going to foul out, his 5th foul of the night, and it'll be a 1-and-1 back on the other end for the Crusaders.
Yeah, that's 5 on Garrett Heaney. He's going to foul out of this one, and coaching staff didn't seem too upset about it. He was being aggressive, and obviously, Brian, when you're up 35, it makes the pain of fouling out a little bit better. But you see right there, a slight push in the back. Maybe if it's not a 35-point game, that one's let go, but not going to get away with that with a big lead.
Talked about Carter Witt. Appeared in 50 games, 13 starts in 2 seasons for the Demon Deacons. Does have 3 years of eligibility left here in the purple and white. There you see a little bit too aggressive out of bounds, and we'll be back over to Crusaders. So anytime you get a player like, who comes from an ACC schools, face big-time competition, knows what it takes to be successful, that's another element. It's not really the angle of a freshman. Yes, he's new to the program, but brings some real-time experience in college basketball.
Yeah, he's played at the highest level in the ACC, in the Power 5, as you mentioned, and it provides a different element. It provides a different type of value. As you know, he's been on the big stage before. He played on a very good Wake Forest team that almost went to the NCAA tournament last year. Played under the ACC Player of the Year last year as well as a fellow point guard. So he's seen it all and been through a lot in his young career.
2.5 to go. Furman up 32 here on this opening night of college basketball. Anderson far side has it stripped and poked away. Furman turns it over for the 12th time. And then a travel. These two teams trading the basketball back and forth with 2:17 to go. Taking a quick look ahead, we mentioned Furman with Belmont on Friday night. That should be a big-time atmosphere here inside Timmons Arena, and you'll see Rhett Lister check in. 6-foot junior, and his father, the head coach, on the other side. So we'll see what Lister gets the better of each other. Tell you what, Friday night, there's no reason for this Timmons Arena crowd not to be packed out with a bunch of students expecting a sold-out Timmons Arena for that big-time mid-major matchup. Anderson back to Huey. He's hacked and will be 2 at the line for Tyrese Huey as Rogers commits the personal.
Tyrese Huey does such a good job of getting vertical in a hurry. What I mean by that is his takeoff speed is ridiculous. You see right there on the pick and roll, he gets above the rim so quick, he kind of gives the opposition no choice but to foul him. He's drawn a couple fouls tonight, been really good in the dunker spot, good movement and fluidity within the offense. Bob Ritchie's got to be happy with what he's seen from Huey thus far.
Paladins now 14 of 18 from line, still above 50% from the field, 52%. Holding North Greenville to 33% from the field as Huey make both. And the Paladin lead sitting at 34, one off the game high. That was 35. Miscommunication out of bounds. Good defense by Carter Witt.
And I'll tell you, Rhett Lister recently inserted into a game, does a good job of sticking his man there through the dribble handoff. Bit of a miscommunication, and the pass goes out of bounds. You hear the bench, too. So excited for Rhett Lister getting into this game, and the whole crowd super enthused when he got checked into this one.
Tell you what, if I was a betting man, Rhett Lister's is going to get he's going to get a shot over this last 145. Backdoor cut, Lister gets it, hesitates, blocked down low, and then he commits the personal foul. Will be 2 at the other end.
Bryant, I don't think you could have timed it better if you tried. It was about 3 seconds after you said if you were a betting man, Rhett Lister would get a shot late in this one, and immediately something up for Lister, goes back door and just able to get blocked. And see Dad over there is going to get the pan to him.
He kind of gave his side eye down to the Furman bench and said he's not going to score on a backdoor cut. I'll trust me that. He's sitting there smiling at him. We'll see. I tell you what, Rhett's going to get a couple more shots up, shot up and in. It couldn't happen. Nice kid, nice family. Lister family been around basketball a long time with both these two schools. Class act. And one more coming up from the line from Brown and knocks it in. And we'll see what Coach Ritchie and staff draw up here. Now we have the game within the game.
Yeah, I mean, there are big implications here, even in a 32-point game. Is Rhett Lister going to try and score on the team that his dad coaches? And a bit of a scuffle and a turnover there for the Paladins, and North Greenville looking to do anything they can late.
Baseline jumper up and in. And it's back to a 30-point game, approaching 1 minute remaining. Tell you what, I mean, Thanksgiving table discussions, bragging rights. Nice pass off to Huey off the glass. And I tell you what Huey's done moving without the basketball tonight, very impressive.
He's playing his way into more minutes and has been so impressive as a roller. If he can come on and add even more depth for this Furman Paladin squad that's already loaded with star power, and the Tyrese Huey's out on the break and going to throw one down. He's been so impressive on both sides of the ball tonight.
Coach Ritchie was trying to get a timeout and get things moving and get some subs in, but unable to do so. About a 21-second differential shot and game clock, 34-point Paladin lead. Blocked down low, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Crusaders. Blake Harris, 6-foot junior out of Greenville, set to check in to see his first action for the Paladins. Tell you what, good minutes tonight for Joe Anderson. Anderson checks out, 4 points, 19 minutes, only 2 turnovers, helping lead the offense. Now a steal on the entry pass. Tries to get it up to Lister. Oh, had him on the break and had a hand in it. Now up to Lister. Is this the moment? Layup up and in. And Rhett Lister gets the point versus Dad, and there's a smile on the other end of the bench.
Chad Lister can't even be mad at it, and you can't blame him right there as his son gets the layup to go late in this one for the Paladins.
I don't want to say he was cherry picking, but I do think he was waiting for his opportunity. But Rhett gets on the board, and
I wouldn't call it cherry picking, but I would say Rhett owes that one to the rest of the Paladin squad.
He was
forcing
there
the
trying.
turnover.
Final 13-second shot clock turned off. Step back jumper on the way. That's well off the mark. Loose ball, and Coach Ritchie is going to say slow things down, and the final seconds will run off in the season opener. 91-55, facts and final thoughts.
The Paladins show a way to win without shooting the three ball well. Only 5 of 25 for 20% from beyond the arc tonight, and still dominate the game offensively and put up 91 points. Was really impressed with how they turned North Greenville over, forcing 21 of those. This Paladin squad is in for a heck of a year, Bryant.
For Jeff Schetzel, his entire ESPN crew, Facts and Childress, I'm Bryant Lambert saying so long from Greenville. The Paladins win it 91-55. Next up, Belmont Friday night from Greenville.